Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day and welcome back to our how to build in the Sims tutorials. So last time we were working on creating the rooms, showing you different ways of how to make a room and adding fences and spindles and columns to make the rooms a little bit more interesting. So today we're going to work on the roofs and sort of the windows as well, and sort of the different things you can add onto the side of your build as well. So we've got quite a few different interesting shapes going on. So there are quite a few different roofs you can use in The Sims, and they'll be adding some more in a free update, I think, when the cats and dogs come out. So we've got gable roofs, we've got hipped roofs, we've got half gable, got half hipped. So classic gable roof is your little triangular one, always great to use on many different builds. And then we've got this one, which I don't use as much, but comes in sort of very different interesting things you can do. So if you get up, you can move the little dots on the sides. This works for every single roof, so you can make it all different shapes, all different curves, and just make your roofs interesting. It also changes shape as the different sizes that you go for. And there's the half gable. So with these you can move it up and down. These are great for sort of modern builds, but if you see these little arrows denote how much extra roof you sort of want on your build. So say if we wanted to have a short, I'll put it on the side, so say we wanted to have short on the top here but long on the bottom here because we wanted a little trim along the roof, you can do this because at the moment we can only change them both at the same time. But if you hold down the shift key, which is the arrow under the cat locks, you, while pulling the different arrow that you want to have longer, so we want the bottom longer, so we'll hold down the shift key and pull the arrow down as long as we want it, so that will make that part of the roof longer and keep that part of the roof shorter. And like rooms, you can drag them along, make them sort of whatever size you want to have, but make sure you always sort of scale it so that it's correct. So we'll try and make a interesting roof pattern on here. So I think I would use the gable roof for the top, so we'll drag it all the way along and sort of make it a little bit of an indent and make the sort of sides a bit longer than they are. And on the back here would be great for the half gable, so we'll just make it fit the space. And we see here the roof size doesn't match because this one's got a much steeper angle than this roof, so all we do, pull it down till it matches up as much as you want, and then we'll hold down the shift key again and just make the edge a little bit longer so it gives it a nice flow from one roof to the other. We can also change the sort of curve, so if you really wanted your roofs to match up sort of perfectly like that, you can do, but I'd make it slightly different. And then on the side here, it's a bit more difficult because we've got the little curve here, so we could use one of these. So as a room again, you rotate it. Normally with this one you keep that on the sort of back wall of the house, and we'll just drag it along to fill up the space. And we've got this little overhang here, which will probably do something something to sort that out. So if you see here on this one, because we've got sort of the back plate to keep it sort of a nice join like a realistic roof, you can just drag it straight in to next room, and sometimes you'll get this glitch where it kind of comes into the room a bit, but once you're actually, if you get a bit annoyed with that, you can sort of drag it out as much as possible, and sometimes it will affect sort of the room. So see, now that's the room because the roof's gone in, but when we dragged it out sort of a bit, it turned that not into a room. And we can fix this by getting out our trusty floor plan again, and we can go up to the next part, just plop it down, drag it along the roofing part, and that should, yep, that has made the room underneath into an actual room again. Don't want to change the day. So yeah, that's how to fix if you do have any roofing problems, but I don't really mind when the roof comes over. So on this one, you can actually use sort of the half walls as sort of a roofing technique. So you can just drag them along, connect them up there, and you've got sort of a nice modern wall. And if you wanted to go into a bit more detail, you can change the trim on the wall. So if you change that to a nice white, we've got the white and blue, and all the different trims sort of come in various different styles and shapes to match what type of build you're going for. So we'll stick that back into a white, we'll bring that up again. So in the roofs, if you click the roof pattern button, you can select all different types of roofs that you might want to have on your build. So you can go for like a nice tiled sort of roof, or if you're going for, it lets me click, a bit more sort of stylized one, you can go for something like that. We'll be going for a thatched roof, but I think we'll just go for some nice sort of tiles on our build. And if we click the little roof trims, we can pick sort of a border to go around our roofs, and these also come in different various colours. So if you wanted to sort of match the roof, or you were doing a sort of different style to your house, you can pick one to go on there. I don't really want one that thick on this roof, it's not actually that big, so we can pop it round, and it sort of gives some definition to our roof. And you can also use your roof trims on the top bit between your second floor and the roof itself, so we can add a trim. This will come in handy when we get to like wallpapering the house, so you can add a different wallpaper onto the exposed wall on the building compared to the second floor level. And we can go into wall trims. So if you've got roof trim and you wanted to add a wall trim, these ones will go on the top of your walls, but they have to be at a certain wall height. So these two are for a medium wall, and these three are on a large wall. So we turn that one into a medium wall. I can add that onto there, and they also come in all the different various colours. So that one's quite thick, and then this one is ridiculously insane. But you can add these, say, like over that foundation, because that technically is a room in itself. So we could add one over that, and we can add it on top of the walls as well. So I will make that a third, like a big height, the biggest height wall, and that will make all the walls on that level the same. So if we turned all the bottom floors into the third height ones, they will all become third height ones. You can't distinguish between which room you want as a, say if you wanted this as a taller room than that, you can't do that in The Sims at the moment. So we can also add floor trims which go on the bottom of the rooms. This also works for the roofs as well because they count as a room, so you can do that at the bottom, between, always on the second floor, which gives some definition between the different floors if you feel like your builds. So we can take that roof trim there that we've added, we can add a floor trim over that roof trim, or if you don't want to do that, we can add a room trim all the way around all the different things. We can't add one on here because this doesn't have a second floor, but we can add one on the second bit. And oh yeah, I didn't show the, so on the third floor we can add bigger ones because obviously the walls are taller, so we can add humongous different things. So if you're making sort of classical, more classical builds, you can add your little furniers on them. So we will pop this wall back down to what size it was, so all the roofs line up. And once you've built your roof, there are a lot of different things that you can pop on top of your roof. So you can pop on chimneys. You can do this by just hovering over where it is, and you can pop them on the ground, but they will line up in the roofs. And if I just move this roof off for the moment, so you can pop them under the roof, and if you say place the roof here, sometimes you can sort of build, like that one's just deleted the chimney that we got there, but sometimes if you do pop your chimney in, it, once you've moved it, it'll pop back up, but you can build over sort of your chimney. So if you wanted to have a small roof with a little chimney coming out of it, you can actually do that. So I'll just delete that and put our roof back on. There we are. So we can add sort of little windows coming out. I think they look quite cute, so we'll add a couple of those along there, like we've built up into the second floor. And we can also, if you've got the get together expansion pack, you can add sort of, sometimes they don't line up quite enough on the actual builds themselves, so some, depending on what roof type you've actually built, some of the items won't work. So we can add chimneys, and if you've got city living, you can add in sort of advertising. And we've also got sort of the sort of more Spanish looking sort of wall decorations that you can sort of put on your belts. So we'll add in nice chimney. I'll get a bigger one than that. So add one there, and we'll probably add, it's got like air vents, and if you've got like modern builders, you can put air ducts on the back. And we've also got sort of these things to put on towers if you were doing more of like a Mediterranean or a Middle Eastern build. You scale those up and they work really well on different things. And you can like put flags, put a flagpole on the end there, and we've got like weather stations and all different types of things there. So now we have got our roof, and we've picked the colour, we've got the trims, we've done the wall trims. We can start doing some windows and doors. So it's kind of, all the windows come in 3 different categories depending on what wall height you've got. So if we change that one to a tall wall, we can use the really big windows, but you can't put windows between each floors because that will cause this game to have sort of graphical issues. But you can mix and match sort of different sized. So if we've got a tall wall, we can still use the medium windows, and we can still use the small windows, so that works quite well if you're doing sort of a modern type of build, which looks quite cool. You might change those out and put in sort of more basic windows. Do something like that, so that could work quite well as the front part of our house. And for the bottom bit, you can some of the windows. So this one's built for a medium walls, so it'll work on here but not on the others. So we'll pick out some nice windows we can put on the sides, and all the colours and stuff can be changed either beforehand or after, depending on what you're kind of going for in your build. And corners like these are great if you wanted to add sort of a modern twist like we've done out the front, so you can mix between having the short and small windows again, and sort of create these really big, nice, open sort of windows. And you can always use the eyedropper tool to pick out the different windows that you're looking for. And we'll probably go for that's too big. So we've made kind of really cool modern end to that build. You can add that there. You can't add windows over windows either, but you can move them up and down the wall depending on how high you've got the walls. So you can make some really interesting wall patterns with it. So we'll just delete those. And adding doors, all the doors come in the same way as again, but we got archways, so you can have like gaps out into the outside. We have 3 wide doors, we have 2 wide doors, we have single doors that act as 2 wide doors as well. So depending on what space this can sits in between 2 walls, rather than sitting in the actual wall itself. Like this one will sit in the actual space of the wall, whereas the other one sits in the middle. So depending on what type of style and what type of look you're going for, you can get a door that sort of fits in with the theme that you're going for. So we'll kind of put some modern doors about. And we'll probably put that one. See, like this door doesn't quite work here because we've not got a symmetrical, we can't put it in the middle. So using sort of a door like the sort of a more central door, if we can find one like that, that will work quite well. It depends if you like your symmetry or not, but it's all up to you really. And that, and we can use different wall sculptures, like sort of add-ons that we can use. So if we've built something like this, we can actually add in little extra wall details like we've got here actually on the building itself, so it looks like it's holding up sort of where the building is, so it has a bit more detail on it. And we can add like little sort of, I don't know what these are, notches, like bits of wood, so it's like kind of coming out of the structure itself. And there's balconies that you can place over the windows, and there's window boxes and wall hangings. So you can put, if you hold down the shift key, you can actually put, and if you hold the shift key, you'll get multiple items, so you can keep clicking and clicking and clicking, and you'll get the same item each time. So we'll just delete those. And if you want more precision when you're placing any items on a wall, say we want to place this one a bit closer, you can hold the Alt key down, and that will mean you can place it sort of anywhere on the wall, so we can get as close to the door as possible. But you do have to be warned that the sim, if you place it too close near the door and you're using the move object sheet as well, it will sort of, look here, I can't place this one any closer to the door because the sims won't be able to use the door. But if I can get it as close as possible, I can sort of view it, and we can use sort of different wall features and different awnings to put over. We've got sort of longer window boxes and sort of drain pipes that we can use just to add extra detail to our builds. So next time we'll be looking at adding stairs and wallpapers and sort of the inside doors. So I hope you have enjoyed and learned something about roofing and all the different types of roofs and sort of which windows you can use on which build, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.